Hello, I am a friendly Endoskull. On your first couple passes, you will not get into my nooks and crannies. Do not fret. Do not hit me with more paint. Allow the first layer to dry. Come back after I am dry, and hit me again with another couple light coats. Let that dry, and repeat the process. Be patient. Don't give me runs. God damn you, be patient.
Yo, what's up, creepers and geekers? Chris, the Atari Creep. And now that I'm done with the Blade Runner blaster, I think it's time we start getting this T800 Endoskull put together. Quite honestly, the only thing that has been keeping me from working on this is attaching the neck to the base. I can't remember if I showed this in the last video or not. You can go check it out. But I did finally buy one of these flanges. I tried to find one with a 3-inch internal opening here, but there just wasn't any available, and this was the closest thing to it. And what I'm really after is just this shape right here. So I need to find a way to cut this. I don't know if I have a hacksaw. Maybe I'll run out and get one. So that I can slip the neck into it. I'm going to mill a little bit in here so that the neck is somewhat recessed and then sealed in there. I'm going to glue it in with epoxy. And then this will slip over that to hide the crimes of my cuts and everything, and to give it more of an industrial look. Then we can put it all together. And honestly, these three things right here is what has kept me from even wanting to work on it. It has honestly been on that box, excuse the mess, staring at me. And I figured if it was stared at me, then we'd get to work on this fucking thing. But I've just been going, oh, how am I? I'm just, you know what? I'm just going to let fate, time, and whatever decide what it wants to decide. I'm just going to go for it. So yesterday I decided to do a test paint on the jaw to make sure it'll work. I originally wanted to go with, say, like an Alclad or something like that to really chrome it up. But, you know, a very good point was made. I am going to do some light weathering on this. Mainly black washes, maybe a little bit of a rust wash, but nothing crazy. I just want this to look like it. Again, it was a trade show piece that has been sitting in a basement forever. So I went and got me a 2-in-1 primer / paint, gloss black, and some Rust-Oleum. They call it metallic, but it's a fake chrome finish. And I tested the jaw, and I think I'm going to get the look I'm after with it. But I did a little experiment with the teeth. I didn't want to keep the teeth chrome. I know some people do that for simplicity and ease. And this is why I didn't paint everything at one time. I mean, I guess in theory I could have painted these in the neck, but we'll get to that in a little bit. I wanted to mask off the teeth, and tape just didn't seem like it was going to be right. So what I ended up trying to do is I used to have this stuff that was like masking fluid. It was basically, I think it was a liquid latex, really. A thinned out version of liquid latex. So what I do is I brushed on a couple layers of just regular school Elmer's glue on there. And hopefully I've let this cure overnight. I did this yesterday morning and afternoon, and it's dry to the touch, and it's not tacky at all. So I think what I'm going to do here is scrape off the teeth, and you'll watch and see whether it's a failure or it's not a failure. So let's get going on this. All right, so with a combination of my X-Acto blade and my thumbnail, it's kind of working. I really expected it to work a little bit better than this. So it looks like I'm just going to have to scrape off the teeth. I might still do it with the skull itself. There we go. Just to give me a little easier time cleaning. I don't want to tape off the teeth. You never get the results that you're looking for. It's just easier to do something like this. At least for me, anyway. And just clean it up with, you know, a fine tool and maybe some sandpaper. So, all right, so let me get that going. We'll get painting, and again, I'll just start trying to figure this thing out. There we go. I was able to use a hacksaw and just cut that away. Obviously, there's a lot of cleanup to do, but the idea is this is going to go here. I'm going to set the neck into here. I'm probably going to cut a little more of the flash away. I'll bring it back down. And then I'm going to slip this over it and glue this down to secure the whole thing together, and then eventually that'll go on top of it. So this is going to work well. This is a lovely view of the town in which I live, town in which I grew up in. We are here in my attic. And this is where I do a lot of my painting and stuff, unless I can get out on the porch to do it. Yeah, nothing fancy up here. Just a regular old attic where you can get tetanus if you walk on the wrong board. So, okay, the skull has, god damn it, this tripod. The skull, the teeth have dried, all the glue and everything that was on there. So, the jaw I was able to get most of the paint off of, and it did work. I just didn't have enough layers on there for it just to grab and peel. So, I corrected that hopefully with this bad boy and added a whole bunch more layers and just let it dry. I mean, it's been like 3 or 4 hours now, and I just kept putting glue and glue and glue on it. And, yeah, that's really it. And all I'm using here to finish these pieces is I got a Rust-Oleum 2-in-1 gloss, a Rust-Oleum metallic chrome kind of dealy, and they seem to be doing the job. I don't know if you can see too well. Let me see in the viewfinder. Yeah, I know lighting up here sucks, but I got the neck here painted. The eyeballs are behind the skull right now. I'm actually not going to paint it on this thing here. I'm not going to show you painting. You know what painting looks like. But yeah, we're getting ready to get this thing going. So let me paint this, and we're probably going to let them sit for a couple days. I'm going to let the black cure, then I'm going to hit it with chrome tonight. Maybe another hit tomorrow morning. And then I'm going to let them cure for a few days because it has been very cloudy and rainy a lot lately here. Plus, you don't want to touch the chrome paint because it'll just leave fucking fingerprints. So, all right, let me get that going. Okay, so while everything's drying and we have some downtime, let's get these little pieces situated and cleaned up. And you know, for the most part, it looks like they casted them pretty well. I mean, there are flaws, and there's going to be some sanding and cleanup, hence all these little dealios here. But I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pull this bag apart. I'm going to pull out each one of these parts. I'm going to clean up all the little seams and what have you. Damn camera won't focus. And I'm actually going to paint these by hand. And here's something that a lot of people are going to cringe about. My initial thought on these little pieces were, okay, if I were to design the T800, I would not universally use the same metal all the way through. So it would stand to reason that some of it would be steel, some of it would be brass, some of it might even be copper, you know? And I was going to paint a lot of these little pieces, you know, maybe a little bit of brass here and there. Maybe these eyeball pieces were going to be copper. But I am not going to do that. But I am going to paint them by hand just using acrylics and then seal them with a satin clear. Make sure they don't scrape up. And that way this is all ready to go when it's time to put it together. I may even glue the ball bearings into the ends of these eye pieces just to have it ready to go. I don't know, we'll see. So let me get to these, and yeah. All right, well, this is finally dry, and before I decided to chrome it, I wanted to see how this would go, and it's not quite making it. If you look, it's fighting it with these two pieces here. So I suppose I could just open this up just a little bit, just enough, and again, see where we can go from there. All right, well, many attempts to get this to go over without trying to screw it up too much. First I had trouble getting it over this, then trouble getting it over this, and now I'm having trouble getting it over this. So, next logical step is to trim this away and pray to God. And with a little bit of finagling here, if you just give me 1 second, thank God that it's vinyl. Bam! Fits perfectly. So, to kind of recap how we're going to go with this, obviously I'm going to straighten this out a little bit more. But it's going to go basically like that, with the head up here, and I think that's going to look pretty legit. If I can just get this, I just got to do a little more fine trimming on this, and we're good to go. Let me paint the other little tiny pieces, and we'll call it that for now. Alright guys, so this is what where I'm going to call it quits for the day. Honestly, at this point, after everything's been semi-chromed, if you want to call it that, all that's really left to do is wire up the LEDs and assemble the thing. And that's just what we'll do. Aside from I do need to finish painting those. It's all the little gears and stuff are in between the jaw and the cranium. But I don't want to really handle this too much until it completely cures. And it has been pretty humid around here. We've been getting rain on and off pretty much every day since 3,000 years ago, as it seems. So I'm going to allow this to cure properly, and then I'll scrape the teeth. I might even touch this up because I didn't wait long enough. And even though I am going to weather it, there's a few spots where it's not as chromy as it should be. But we'll get to all that in the next video. So guys, thank you as always so much for watching. I do apologize for the length of time between Terminator Skull videos. Just one of those things where I had a conundrum and just chose to ignore it. And now I'm not ignoring it anymore, and we're almost there. I'm really getting excited. This is honestly, I say a lot of times, I've always wanted to own one of these. This is a dream for me. I mean, to have a full endoskeleton would be amazing. I'll never be able to afford anything like that, but the fact that this will be in my home is honestly a dream come true to me. And the fact that I'm the one who's putting it together just solidifies it even more. So guys, again, thank you so much for watching. Thanks for following along. Shouldn't be too much longer now before this thing's finished, and then we can wash our hands of it. So guys, go ahead and leave feedback down below. Thumbs up, thumbs down. No feedback is negative. It is all positive to me. And until next time, again, thanks so much for watching. Take care, and bye-bye. Hey, what's up, folks? The Creep here. Thank you, as always, so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe for more. You can follow The Creep on social media, and feel free to reach out at any time here on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Creep would love to hear from you. And as always, thank you, take care, and bye-bye.